In this video, we're going to look at the area equation for a triangle and modify it so that it uses some trigonometry. So we already know from years past that area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So at least in this triangle, right, we would have the base here, and then we would have a certain height here. All right, and then we would do, base times height divided by 2, get the area of the triangle, okay? Now, in some instances, not going to be so easy to find one of these quantities, okay? Or maybe we're given some other information. For instance, right, maybe we know the measures of the angles, okay? So maybe we know, let's call this theta, and then we'll call this alpha, alpha. And then this whole thing here would be an angle beta, okay? And let's say we know that this is a side length of A, this is a side length of B, and that would be a side length of C, just to give these things numbers. And we don't know what the height is, okay? But we know everything else about the triangle, okay? What we can actually do is look at that area equation. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Okay, I'll write it out. Base times height. Okay, and so we have 1/2 b times h, right? But now, or sorry, a, my bad, a times height h. Okay, I should probably define that as h, but it's unknown. Okay, what we can do is we can use trigonometry to replace h, right? How do we relate h with other known quantities in this triangle? Okay, you maybe saw it, maybe you didn't, but I noticed that I would have theta, I would have b, and then I don't know h, but I can relate theta, h, and b using the sine function. So I could do sine of theta is equal to h over b. And then since h is unknown, I could substitute, or I could solve for it. So I would do b times sine of theta is equal to h. All right, and go ahead and substitute that in. 1/2 a times b times sine of theta. And this would be another way to calculate the area of the triangle, okay? Notice, I just want to point this out, in this formula for the area of a triangle, you would have b, you would have a, and you'd have the angle included between them. Very important, okay? This formula will only work if you have two adjacent sides and their included angle. And that's exactly what the area formula here says, okay? So we have A and B, two adjacent sides, acute angle between them. Theta should be acute, and then we get the formula. Okay, so quick example to illustrate this. We want to find the area of the triangle below, okay? We have two sides that are adjacent. So I'm starting to think A is equal to 1/2 times 3 times 8 times sine of theta. And right here would be theta. I don't know how much it is right now, but I know the other two angles in the triangle. So I can do theta is equal to, so we'll work in radians because why not? Pi minus 7 pi over 16. Okay, so 180 minus the first angle minus the second angle. Okay, and guess what? We get to work with fractions. And we all love fractions, right? Or at least I do. So the common denominator here, since we have to, do subtraction, would be 80. So I'm going to do this as 80 pi over 80 minus, let's see, I have to multiply 7 by 5, which is 35 pi over 80. Minus 5, I'd have to multiply by 16 pi over 80. Okay, and doing this I get 29 pi over 80, which does not reduce any lower. So now I know the value of theta, and I can go ahead and complete my area formula. So 1/2 times 3 times 8 times sine of 29 pi over 80. Okay. And then I can enter all this in my calculator. So this all would be 3 times 8 is 24, times 1/2 is 12. So then if I do this in my calculator, I get approximately, if I round to one decimal place, 10.9 square units. Okay. I'll just write units squared. Okay. Big thing is if you're rounding, you should always include the approximate symbol, so the wavy equal signs. But there you go. So set we wanted to find the area of the triangle, so we said, okay, we don't have the height, we don't even have the base, so we do have two adjacent sides. So let's use the area formula that involves sine. So I did 1/2 times first side times adjacent side, so 3 times 8 times sine of the included angle, which was theta. I had to find theta, okay, and found theta with some lovely fractions, and then did the arithmetic. So there you go. Okay, so make sure to get this area formula into your notes, and you should be good to go.